Hi everyone, it's Stacy. Thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me. Welcome back to those of you who have been practicing with me for a while, and welcome to anyone who might just be finding this video for the first time. Today I thought we would kind of tap into a spring theme. I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but really I just wanted to pick poses with names like mountain and tree and moonflowers, sunflowers. So that's it. I'm feeling excited for spring. It is March. By the time you see this, it'll be March the 4th already, I think. Woo! So we're only a few weeks away from the official first day of spring. I know. It doesn't mean spring will arrive, but it's something really, really exciting to look forward to. It's been a long winter for all of us, so let's get to it. We'll warm up today. We'll start standing, or of course, I have my chair if you are going to be practicing in the chair. As always, I will be cueing from the floor, the mat, and the chair. So if you're waiting for me to show a variation for you, just find a few breaths, wait for me to catch up to you, and then we can meet in the postures that you're looking for. If you want to practice with any other props, by all means, go ahead and grab your props. That might be blocks, bolsters, blankets, whatever you need for your practice. I won't be using anything other than the chair and the mat, of course, and I'm going to meet you back there in a minute. So I do have a nice bright yellow sweatshirt on as well. Has a gold shiny heart. I'm just feeling very springy and excited for spring today. So that's where the sort of idea for this spring flow came. So let's just start and we'll take a few breaths. You can practice seated in the chair. You can do this seated on the ground. I just thought we'd start standing today and get right into some big movements to really get the body warmed up and bring that sense of heat and warmth and hopefully spring, summer warmth feelings to our bodies. So we'll start in our mountain pose where we want to ground our feet into the mat or the floor. Really sort of lift and spread the toes. Really get a feel for all 5 toes rooting down into the earth. Get a feel for the heels being heavy in the ground as well. Soften through the knees a bit as we bring a bit of focus to our belly. So pull the belly in. Think about stacking everything on top of each other. So we're not hanging loose. We don't have our butt sticking out too far. We want to stack the joints. So ankles, knees, and then hips. So sort of rotate the hips up towards the ribs. Engage through the belly, and we'll roll the shoulders a couple of times. Still rooting down through the feet. Roll them in the other direction as well. All right, let's take a big breath. We'll start to bring some bigger movements in. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And then for the first few breaths, we'll just bring them back down to our side. Now we're still engaging through the core and the belly and the legs. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, lower. Inhale. And exhale. All right, let's take a big inhale here. Let's grab onto our right wrist with our left hand. Reach up and over. We're going to find a little side stretch here. We're rooting down through both feet. And we're making sure that our top arm doesn't fall forward. So we're still sort of rotating that shoulder up and back. Option to stick the hips out to the side a little bit further. Create a bit more of a C shape here. Stay for another breath. On the inhale, let's come back up through center. Maybe we'll exhale down, roll the shoulders. All right, inhale, reach up. Let's grab onto the opposite wrist. Grab onto left wrist with the right hand, reach up and find that big side stretch over. Same thing, we want to make sure this top arm keeps spinning open, maybe sticking the hips out towards the left a little bit, but still rooting down through the feet. We don't want to send too much weight into the one foot. We're trying to find equal weight distribution. Think about lifting up and over. Stay for a breath. Let's inhale up through center, release down. Good, let's roll those shoulders a couple more times. All right, we're gonna do a bit of forward folding with the breath. So I'll just turn to the side so we can see the long flat back and the hip hinge that we're going to use in our forward fold. So as we inhale, we'll reach the arms up. As we exhale, hands can come through heart center or they can fly down to our side. And we're going to start to send the hips back with a straight back as we hinge forward here. Now, an option for the chair, you might not be sitting in the chair, but you might use the chair as a prop. Maybe this is as far as you want to come so that you can maintain that nice hip hinge and flat back. Maybe your hands can reach down to the shins or the floor. And if they can't on these first few rounds, they might get there a little later, no worries. If you're in the chair, same thing, you'll inhale, reach the arms up and hands through heart center or down towards the side as you hinge forward, seated in your chair with a nice long back, reaching for the block or the floor. All right, I had you down there, wherever you are, maybe on the chair or the shins. Let's inhale all the way back up. So really press through the feet, reach the arms up, and then exhale, hands through heart center, let it go. So let's do a few of those. Inhale. As we exhale, we'll dive forward, so hips go back. We hinge at the hips with a nice long back, reaching for shins, block, chair, or floor. I can't quite get there. I'm pretty stiff today. And then we'll inhale, press all the way back up. Exhale the hands through the center body, release. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips, long spine, reach for those shins or floor, long back. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale. One more. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale. Good. So I'm just going to turn back to the camera here. There we go. I just wanted to show that hip hinge from the side. Let's find that mountain pose again. And from here, let's step the feet wide and turn the toes out towards the corners of the mat. So we're going to continue with these big movements. Going to get the legs in a little bit more. We were stretching the hamstrings before. Let's get those quads warmed up and warm up more through the hips again. So let's sink into those knees. Hands can be at our heart center here or on our hips, wherever we feel nice and comfortable. And we want to think about tilting that pelvis, really aim it down towards the mat. Knees are tracking out towards the back edge of the toes, so the pinky edge of the feet. Sink into our squat here. Bring the hands up shoulder height. We can turn the palms up towards the sky. This is our goddess pose. We might want to stay here. We're feeling the heat building in our quads already. Let's stay for a breath. Let's see if we can make sure we're tipping that pelvis down towards the earth. Maybe sink a little deeper. Reach through the fingertips. Let's move with our breath here. On the inhale, we're going to press through the feet, come up to standing, sweep the arms up. And then we're going to exhale, back into our goddess pose. But maybe we'll draw a bit of energy in as we pull the elbows in towards the body. So feeling the shoulder blades work, drawing in. Inhale, press up, reach up. You're in the chair, just step the feet wide and move with the arms. So feel the core engage, feel the lats engage as we draw the arms in. And if we're on the mat, we're gonna straighten through the legs, press up, inhale, exhale to open. Awesome, let's flow with our breath. So these are our moonflowers, getting the shoulders, arms, quads, feet, hamstrings, everything's working, glutes. Nice big movements to help warm our bodies up. Really channeling that nice warm spring, summer weather. Okay, so option is to stay with this breath pattern, or on the exhale, hinge forward at the hips, just like we did in our forward fold, and draw a big circle with the arms here, and pretend we're scooping up a bouquet of sunflowers, and then coming back up. Let's inhale. So remember, option is to stay with moonflowers, or hinge at the hips, draw a circle, find sunflowers. I'm going to do one of each. If there's one movement you prefer that feels better, stick with that. We're just making big movements, moving with our breath. Sinking nice and low in the legs. Good, let's do a few more here. Really warming up. Two more. Let's inhale all the way up. Let's exhale back into our goddess pose. Awesome. Let's drop the hands down to our thighs and just sort of twist and dip our right shoulder in towards center, finding a little twist through the center. I know those legs are working, but this should give you a little bit of relief. Nice twist. Breathe here. Inhale through center, drop that left shoulder. All right, move with the breath. Good. Let's inhale through center, press up to standing, straighten the legs. Awesome. Let's turn our left toes to face forward, our right toes to face to the side of the wall. So we're coming into a bit of a wide leg, feet are perpendicular stance. Softness through the legs, but really trying to find some straightness in the legs. Let's bring our hands up shoulder height here. And we're just going to tip back, find our reverse warrior. So you'll feel a nice stretch down the sort of front side of the body. This is a bit of a reverse triangle rather. And if you're in the chair, so stay here if you're on the floor, in the chair for triangle. If you're seated, I'll get to you in a minute. If you're just using the chair for support, we have the chair option here. When we come to triangle, we can use it as a prop. And if we're in the chair for our triangle, we'll just turn sideways to the chair, and we may or may not be able to get our front leg straight. We'll just be coming into, instead of triangle, maybe reverse warrior, and then side angle. So that's your chair option. All right, I've left us here in this nice big stretch. Let's find that triangle. So let's come up through center to begin with. Palms face down towards the ground. Let's pretend that there's a string on our hips and they're pulling our hips all the way to that back wall. So let the hips move towards the back wall as the front hand reaches. And once you're sort of stretched as far as you can go, then we can just tip into our triangle here and stack the shoulders. Now here's where I was saying, perhaps we're using a chair for a prop. Maybe we can come down to our forearm. We all want to check and make sure our bums aren't sticking out too much. Try and pull the sort of right hip under, left hip open. So our triangle is a nice open front body facing forward. And we can, again, use the prop. We can not hold on to our bottom leg here or prop for a bit of strength, or we can rest on the leg or a block here if we're working on a stretch. That way we can sort of relax through the muscles a bit and enjoy the stretch. So lots of options for strength or stretch in our triangle. It's a big posture, every muscle's involved. Gaze is either down, forward, or maybe to challenge our balance, to practice, we could look up at our thumb. Let's find 2 more breaths. Check in with those hips. Remember to pull the right hip under, left hip back. We don't want to have our bum sticking out. All right, to come back up, option is to bend into that front leg and help us come back up, or use our core strength to come all the way back up to triangle. Awesome. Let's drop the arms for a second. I'm just going to move my chair out of the way. We'll turn the right toes so that now both sets of toes are facing forward, hands on hip. Take a big inhale here, exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Oh, let the hands find a mat or a block maybe if you have it, so that the floor comes up a little higher. And then melt down. Find a forward fold. Let the head be heavy. Shake it out. Yes and no. All right, from here, let's press into the floor or block. Come up to a flat back. And we're going to ground the left hand underneath the face. We're going to keep the hips nice and sturdy as the right arm sweeps up and open. So we're in a big twist again here. So the twist comes from the core and then the chest. And we're trying to stack the arms in one straight line. That's the goal. It's hard to sort of feel that when you're in that position. So do your best to try and stack the arms. I'm just going to come back into this. So left hand grounds, right hand opens. Check in with the hips. If they start to sort of sway out to one side, can we pull them back? Keep the weight distribution nice and even. Press into the mat to deepen the stretch. Reach up. One more breath. Take another inhale and then exhale. Let's let it go. And then we're going to bring our hands to our hips or our thighs. Hinge all the way back up. And then roll the shoulders a couple of times. Just like at the beginning, shake it out. If you need to shake your legs out, go for it. And if you are in mountain pose, no problem. All right, from our mountain pose, let's step the feet wide again. We're just switching sides. So if you're in the chair, you just want to switch directions for your reverse and side angle postures. If you're on the floor with me, now the right toes stay facing forward. We'll turn the left toes to the short edge of the mat. So we've got this sort of perpendicular foot stance, wide leg foot stance. Let's inhale, bring the hands up shoulder height. And then exhale, let's find that reverse triangle. Nice straight legs, big stretch down the front side body. Couple of breaths here. All right, on the inhale, let's come back up. Arms are parallel. Oh, getting a little cramp there. All right. Now let's pretend that there's this string attached to the right hip and they're just gonna get pulled towards the back wall as we reach away from the hips with the left hand until we're sort of stretched as far as we can. And then we'll just tip our body and find our triangle. So again, lots of options. Remember, you have the chair. You can rest your hand on your shin. We just don't want to sink into anything. So make sure you're still really active through the core, pressing strong through the feet. Or you can release the hand, work on your core strength. So a couple of options here. Try to stack the arms and try to make sure the hips aren't sitting way back. So sort of draw this left hip under, right hip back. Lots of cues. Triangle is a big posture. Stay with it for 2 more breaths. And then we got to make our way up on the inhale. So again, option, we may need to bend into that front leg and help ourselves come all the way back up. All right, let's turn the toes again. Feet are both parallel. We can release the hands to our hips. And we're going to take another inhale and find that forward fold. So inhale here, exhale, hinge forward. Find your forward fold. Hands come to chair, block, or mat. Stay for a few minutes. Sink into the forward fold. Shake the head yes and no. And then when we're ready, we'll come back up to that flat back. This time we'll plant that right hand underneath our face. Keep the hips nice and still as we twist through the core and sweep left arm open. Really trying to watch that the hips don't swing out. Bring them back around. Root down through the feet. Find energy. And then press into the mat one more time. Open to the left. Reach up. Inhale. And exhale. Come on out of that. Bring the hands to the thighs. And we'll hinge all the way back up. Good. So option here for some sun and moon flowers. Again, you may just want to adjust the toes. Or we can come back to our mountain pose and our breath work here. Inhale. Forward fold. Hinge at the hips. Come down. And then inhale all the way back up. So move with your breath for a couple of breaths just to recalibrate. And we'll meet in mountain pose when you're ready. I'll turn back to the camera. And we're going to come into our tree pose. So we've done some mountain poses, sunflowers, moonflowers, triangles, which look like mountains if you draw little triangles. So we're still sticking with our theme of spring and trying to feel that nice, warm, hot energy of spring and summer and what's to come. And again, that's why I've got this bright yellow shirt on, trying to really channel some of that sunshine into the practice today. We're going to come into tree pose. So option for balance in the chair, if you're sitting in the chair, is to just work on lifting opposite arm and leg while maintaining a nice sort of erect posture so that you're not sort of wobbling all over. That's going to help with the core. You have options to lift both feet off, see how the balance is challenged that way. Another option, of course, is to come out of the chair and just use the chair as a prop to help you with your balance. And I'm going to have mine here just in case. You might use a wall or anything that you have around you, or you might not. To begin for our tree pose, let's find a mountain pose. Here, feet are about hip width distance. Hands can come down by our side. Let's come back to that nice strong mountain pose. So mountain pose, of course, reminds us of mountains, but so does triangle pose. All right, let's root down. Try to focus our gaze and our breath on something that's not moving, something that's quite still, so we can softly rest our gaze there as we move into our tree pose. Let's start by moving our weight into our right foot. Now our hands might come to our hips for our balance, they might come to heart center, or maybe they automatically come out to the side to help us balance. I like mine at heart center. And I'm going to transfer my weight into my right foot and come up on my left toes. Engage through the core still, balance takes all the muscles, squeeze the bum. Let's see if we can turn the knee, the left knee out towards the side. Toes might stay down, or maybe they come off the floor and connect to the ankle or the calf, or maybe even up above the knee. But if we're doing this, let's make sure it is above the knee. Ooh, I'm not gonna go there. Really root down through the standing leg. That is our trunk. It is the foundation of our tree. Find a few breaths, and branches might stay where they are, or they might start to grow a little bit. Woo, if you fall out of it, no problem. Just find your way back. Options to challenge our balance are to close the eyes or look up. Really rooting down through the foot, reaching energy out through the branches. Now, I'm really wobbly, so I'm just going to use my chair here for a bit of support, so I can really find that connection of branches all the way down to the mat through the trunk of the tree. And I might play with it. Maybe I find that balance. Maybe we stay for 3 more breaths. And after the 3rd breath, let's start to draw the branches down. Let the foot go. We'll just shake it out. Great. Now you may want to walk around to the other side of your chair, or you may want to bring your chair over to the other side, or you might want to leave it just where it is as we find our mountain pose to prepare for a tree on the other side. So find that nice soft gaze, hands on hips or at heart center. Transfer weight into left foot and come up on right toes. See how we're feeling on this side. Let's turn that right knee out. Let's see if the toes can come off the ground on this side. Maybe they touch the calf or the inner thigh. Way up here, if we're doing that, remember that has to get above the knee. We don't want to be pressing this foot into the knee. So find where you feel balanced. Find that strong energy through the standing leg. And let's see what our branches can do on this side. If you fall out, no problem. Making your way back, even if it takes a couple of steps and breaths. We're going to find 3 more breaths. And then we can start to draw our branches down through heart center and let it go. Good. Shake it out. Just going to move the chair back out of the way. Shake it out. Find a few more rounds of breath, either stepping into your goddess pose and flowing through moon and sunflowers, or finding that forward fold from mountain pose. Just a couple of nice big breaths, cleansing breaths. Let all the challenges of balance go. Or even if you had a really successful tree posture on both sides and you just really felt good and strong, let it go. It's in the past now. It has no bearing on the rest of the practice, the rest of the night, the rest of the day or week. All right. Last one. Inhale, reach up, and then let's find our mountain pose. We'll make our way down to our chair or the floor. Any way that feels safe. You can flow through a vinyasa. You can use a prop, just like I'm going to help get all the way down to the floor. And if possible, we're going to come to sit on our shins, but then immediately sort of rock off of them towards the left shin and create a little bit of a zigzag. Now, if you're in the chair, we're just going to come into a seated side bend here. So you can just stay seated with the feet planted on the ground. For those of us on the floor here, let's inhale, sweep the left arm up and over. We'll feel a nice big stretch down the side again here. If it's not comfortable to sit like this, we're just finding a comfortable seated position on the floor as well. That might be cross-legged or half lotus or lotus. Now you can choose to stay here, or we can do a bit of an opener. Now if you're in the chair, you might not be able to do this one. I'm not sure. We're going to bring the hand behind us, and we're going to take the right arm as we inhale. We're going to use it to find a little bit of momentum to help us lift our hips up and open up through the front side body here. So we're pressing into the back hand, using that front hand to find a bit of momentum, feeling a nice front side opener. Front side, I just mean like this, front side hip flexor. Good. Stay for another breath, wherever you are. And on the exhale, let's sweep the arm back down. Good. Let's lean back on the mat, and we'll just step the feet in front of us, windshield wiper a little bit. If you're in the chair, you can just step the feet wide and rock side to side as well. And then let's let those knees fall over to the other side. So now we'll find that right side bend. So the left hand just relaxes, right arm sweeps up and over. We'll find that right side bend. If you're in the chair, finding this nice side bend and staying here. If you are on the floor and you want to find that opener, we're going to let the right hand come behind us to anchor on the ground, as the left arm helps us find a little bit of momentum as we press the hips up. So press into the hand, lift the hips, open up, find a nice stretch through the hip flexor and front side body on the left side. And let's come on out. Let's sweep that arm across. Good. One more time. We'll just uncross the legs, windshield wiper them side to side here. And then we'll scooch to the front of our mats, and we can roll down to the ground. I'll join you in just a second here. We'll do a couple of figure 4 stretches to stretch out the hips at the side and back. We've stretched out the front of them quite a bit today. If you're in the chair, you're just going to be coming into your figure 4 seated. You can do that on the mat as well, or we can roll down any way that feels nice and safe for us to get there. And let's draw our legs in, rock side to side for a minute. And then we'll let both feet find the mat. And it doesn't matter which side we start on, but we can lift that right foot up, flex it, cross it over the left knee. Let the right knee fall open. If you're in the chair, same thing, you're creating this figure 4 shape and you're sitting up nice and tall, or maybe hinging at the hips to deepen the stretch. And if you're on the ground looking for a little bit more, we're gonna reach behind that left leg, draw that left leg in towards the body, stretching out right side outer hip. Find a few deep breaths and see if you can relax through the shoulders as well. See if we can relax through the face. And then we'll release that foot. And we'll uncross the right leg. And we'll go to the other side. Lift the left foot up, flex the toes back towards your face, cross it over right knee and let it fall open. Staying here or sitting up nice and tall. Or if you're in the chair, folding forward for more stretch depth. And if you're on the floor, maybe reaching behind that right hand, drawing the right knee in as you press the left knee away. Still keeping a flexion in the foot, the left foot. Relaxing the shoulders down and back, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the breath. We'll stay for one more round of breath here. And then let's let the right foot find the mat. Good. We'll uncross the legs. And if there's any postures your bodies are still craving, go ahead and find those now. Here are a couple of options. None, you can do some, none, or all of them. A nice gentle option, a nice gentle inversion might be just to lift the legs up. Let the legs be heavy. Just have the feet kind of dangling there in space. This is called waterfall. It's a nice inversion. It allows the blood to drain back towards the heart with no effort, the help of gravity. That's one option. Option two might be to come into a reclined butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees splayed open. This is a lovely option, especially that you're probably practicing in a personal, private space. It might feel vulnerable sometimes to come into such a big open position like this at a yoga studio. This is a great opportunity to try it out now. Or maybe you're ready to curl into a little ball or find a gentle spinal twist. Or maybe you're ready for Shavasana, whatever the case may be. Take a few more breaths here. And then if you aren't already in your Shavasana, make your way to your final resting posture. You might be exactly where you are. You might want to stretch out long along the mat. You might want to just sit up nice and tall in your chair, hands resting in your lap, palms can face up or down, just depending on what type of energy you're trying to, draw in. Are you looking to bring more energy in? Are you looking to maybe calm the energy down, depending on what time of day it is or how you're feeling? Start to scan our bodies and notice if there are any areas we're still holding on to any tension, and just let it go. Shavasana is the time for our physical and energetic bodies to absorb all that good work we just did and turn it into something magical, like spring, early spring energy. It's a time for integration and rest. And know that rest is different from sleep, and that we need both every day. And we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing. And the beauty of practicing through the video is that if you want to or need to stay in Shavasana a little bit longer, just let the video play out or press pause and enjoy the rest of your time there. If you're ready to start waking your body up, we can wiggle through fingers and toes, maybe circle wrists and ankles, choosing to curl into a little ball, or maybe stretch long along the mat just before rolling over to one side and making our way to a comfortable seated position. From here, we can rest our hands on our laps with palms turned down or up. We can bring our hands to heart center in prayer. We can just rest them over our hearts. I have a big gold heart that I want to rest my hands over today, so that's what I'm going to choose. I want to thank you so much for allowing me into your personal private yoga practice spaces and for allowing me to be your guide through these postures. I hope that it brings the energy that you are looking for and that you are craving and needing, and that it's just the right amount of high or low energy, bright spring energy that you need today. Thanks again. Until we get a chance to flow again, take care. Thanks, everybody. I hope that did feel energizing and stretchy and brings a bit of like yellow sunshine, hearts, and spring vibes to your day or your evening or your week ahead. And I'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye.